is happening, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome to another wonderful edition of Cryptosomniac Trader Talk. Let me turn my phone down so all of the Twitter stream background doesn't come through. What's up, guys? Long time no see. How you been?
What's going on? Welcome back from the dead.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, I live.
Missed you, dude.
I know. Sorry, guys. I've been off doing other stuff, but I have been doing a little trading, and how about that BNB today, huh, guys? How about that? I was holding a bag of that since July of last year. Jordan and I made a trade. I can't even remember what the catalyst for the trade was. There was something that made sense at the time. It was probably something with Tether FUD, and I was like, oh, for sure, people are gonna go heavy into BNB. And it was before they had announced a bunch of the other stable coins, and I bought a bunch and it didn't work out. So I was holding a bag and finally made some profit on it today. So very exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, you can attribute all that to these IEOs, the rise of the IEOs, I would say.
Yeah.
Torrent and Fetch, and there's more coming.
There's a lot more coming. I actually heard the CZ interview with Pomp. It was actually pretty good, man. I liked it. You know, CZ actually seems like a fairly genuine guy. It's just that he can't help it when, you know, there's a lot of fuckery going on, which helps his exchange, you know, be put more on the map. So it's like, well, I want to do some good, but I also have to accept some bad that happens and, you know, turn a blind eye.
Yeah, and you guys know Neo DevCon was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So and you know Binance, Binance, the BNB token, they actually want to move over to Neo or Ontology, and they want to create a DEX off of it. So they're going to create a Binance DEX powered by the Binance token as fees.
Wow,
they've been talking about that for a while. I know.
Yeah.
You know, they were specifically saying powering it with the BNB token. I didn't know that they were going to move it over to Neo Ontology, though. That's very interesting.
What are they on right now?
What?
What are they on right now? Ethereum?
Yeah, there's just an ERC20 token.
I think that's cool. I didn't know that they were interested in switching. I think a lot of DEXs are going to take a lot longer than I think we initially thought to take off, which includes existing ones that are functioning, like Kyber. And honestly, I didn't even. Well, I guess you have. What are the ones that they're not even really DEXs? What's the
You're thinking like Shapeshift and
sort of.
What's the other one?
Ones where they've started listing the coins before they were even out officially. You could go and trade them like off market, kind of off of.
Like a dark pool OTC matching kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know ZRX was trying to go for something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that though.
I don't know either, man.
Coinbase acquired them, right?
What, ZRX?
Yeah, or were they invested in them?
They just listed
Yeah, they listed them. I don't know about acquiring.
They listed them,
and that failed to really have any big effect. There was a lot of rumors going around that Coinbase was planning to launch a DEX and utilize, you know, basically that they were going to acquire Zero Exchange and then just sort of port their system over to that. There was a lot of speculation on that. I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that. So that was really it. I played into that bet. I'm not going to lie. I was playing with the ZRX bet a little bit. But yeah, anyway, so there was a rumor, but it didn't ultimately help. And then once that they did get listed, it didn't really do anything for the price. I traded in and out of a little bit of it, but it was, yeah, it didn't really, nothing significant, I don't think.
So there's multiple DEXs. I just want to list them off: Open Relay, Radar Relay, Amadeus, Bancor. There's AirSwap. There is just DEX. I think it's Dex.io.
That's the one I remember using before.
There's Loopring, which is gaining a little bit of popularity. There's Maker, which is the creator of DAI, which is the stable coin. There's the Ocean X, and there's, of course, Kyber Network. I'm just reading off of this list here. And there's Ether Delta. So Ether Delta is pretty popular. And, of course, ZRX or Zero X protocol.
Yeah.
Which ones have you guys used personally, if any?
IDEX.
IDEX, yeah. But IDEX, I don't think constitutes as a decentralized exchange. They still collect information, don't they? I mean, I've never done KYC on them, but
I haven't either. That's why I'm curious. Like, how do they collect information if they don't do KYC?
that is interesting. Yeah, I don't quite know.
Yeah, there's still a DEX. Everything's smart contract. That's why market making's so hard on there, because everything's done through a smart contract. It's the next level style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, DEXs, I think, are the future. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. As soon as we can take out the middleman, I think it is. But right now, it's just so much easier to fiat onboard and offboard.
Right.
Yeah, once there's a big corporation, like, well, you're used to using centralized systems and you have some guarantees if something goes wrong. Obviously, there's all the data issues and the breaches, but you know, if something goes wrong, they're insured and they cover your loss. And mass population just likes simplicity, so it just is what it is.
Yeah.
If, you know, when DEXs become like that, well, there we go, perfect.
I think they inevitably will be, but I think it'll be a good 4 or 5 years, honestly, at least, before they're kind of at the scale that some of these other exchanges are, at least proportionally to some of the small exchanges. Like if we're talking Coinbase size or Bittrex or Poloniex even, or any of those, I think it's going to be at least 5 years or so before you start to see adoption of those, really. Because I think, honestly, there's still like innovation for the tech and stuff to be made, and even improvements to your average exchange, your centralized exchange, before people start familiarizing themselves with how to use a DEX, to be honest. But
yeah,
just for a frame of reference, $600,000 of daily volume on Kyber and 1 million on IDEX. So, guys, we haven't even scratched the surface on actual market penetration. You know, I would say even a small centralized exchange runs more volume.
Are you looking at like a whole list? Do they have that on CoinMarketCap?
Yeah, but you can't fake volume
I just searched for it on CoinMarketCap. So go ahead.
DEXs are technically real volume, whereas all the other ones are, all these small ones are like 95% fake. So it's very hard to compare those numbers.
No, I 100% agree.
That's true too.
I like that ringtone.
But Amal, I think you wanted to go over some price action.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna do a live trader talk today, but live Bitcoin trading.
What are you doing, Amal?
I don't know. But anyway, let's go through it. So let me share my screen real quick. How do you share your screen on this thing? Let's see.
There's a little green button that says share.
Little up arrow.
You guys see this?
Yep.
Let me hide. Okay. There we go. So on this 1 hour chart right here, let me move this over here. What the fuck? All right. So on this 1 hour chart, I spotted some bullish divergence this morning, and I pointed it out to the Advantage members. So as you can see, bullish divergence in this case is lower lows on the oscillators such as RSI, and then we got some higher lows on price. So, you know, I expect a bit of a pop, and essentially the pop could even end, you know, right around here. But for the most part, you know, I don't want to see this price coming back down to this level, because ultimately you want these oscillators to essentially back up and head towards at least like the 50 marker. Okay.
I got a question for you real quick on bullish divergence.
Yeah.
In order to constitute itself as bullish divergence, how many points do you really like to look for? Like, is 2? It looks like I just see 2 here.
Yeah, you only need 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the more points that you touch, I guess you could constitute it as getting stronger, but you only really need 2. Like, it's not like bullish divergence gets stronger. Although the angle and the depth of the RSI oscillator is getting to, say, lower lows, or the price getting to higher lows, that could constitute it as, you know, more strength. Gotcha. And then on top of this, I posted another chart in our Moon Lounge for our Advantage members. I don't know if everyone's aware of our community here. Here's, you know, the Cryptosomniac Moon Lounge. Here's where all the magic happens. I give, you know, analysis here. Jordan gives analysis here. We make our calls in our our analysis, not investment advice calls. But as you can see, we made some good money over the past week. Closed off Fed at a 9% average, closed off BAT trade at a nice like 36%. ETH trade we're down on a little bit. LTC trade we were just up a little bit. And I disclosed my positions. Jordan made a nice BNB call today, and some of our members closed on that. Jason, did you follow Jordan's call?
I actually, ironically, just happened to look at the chart today and was like, "Oh, look at that!" And then, yeah, I noticed that Jordan had already made the call by the time I peeked over in the Moon Lounge. But
perfect.
Yeah,
well,
worked out great.
So
BNB's going up now, actually.
Yeah, I'm still in the trade. I haven't closed out of it yet. I've been, like I said, I've been holding that bag since July. So.
And then we have our gains reviews right here too, and you know, other people are providing us reviews of how they find our community useful. So yeah, if you guys get a chance to, you know, whoever's watching, come join the free lounge. You can go to cryptosomniac.com, and we also have, you know, the paying membership too. Okay, back to the analysis. I did see that TradingView now has the top 10 index through Huobi. So this basically takes into account the top 10 market cap coins, and it gives you basically a MCAP of all 10 of those. It basically looks like the Bitcoin chart, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin still dictates the rest of the market. Another thing that I wanted to point out is volume. Here's something that I noticed was there's a lot of seller exhaustion going on, meaning that, you know, I think the sellers are actually slowly getting depleted and the buyers are stepping up to absorb whatever supply is getting dumped. So if you look at this big candle right here with this huge volume bar, and then compare that to the following one right here, the one that we had like 3 or 4 days ago, and then the one that we had, you know, just a little bit yesterday, you could see that the volume has been consistently decreasing. And now I'm hoping that once we hit that 786 Fibonacci that Bitcoin loves, which is right around $3,600, I'm hoping that we get a nice move back up towards 4,100. So I still have my, you know, Elliott wave count of the 5-wave structure like that. Usually your wave 3 is about a 1.618 fib extension of wave 1 to 2. So that takes us to right around $4,800. So if this wave count is proper, we should be expecting the next move somewhere between 4,700 to 4,800 bucks.
So what's your accumulation zone right now, Amal?
I'm sorry?
What's your accumulation zone right now? What's a good buy?
For Bitcoin, I would definitely say look out for the 786 Fibonacci level that I just pointed out earlier. That's around $3,500 to $3,600. I think, you know, this little middle range between 618 and 786 is probably the best bet for you to buy Bitcoin on. And then one of our trades that we have in our community is Litecoin, which I'm actually more heavily bullish on because it has posted consistently better numbers than both Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is, I think, tough to do in this market. But it's doing well. And we got that, you know, Litecoin halvening coming up in August 9th. So I think the Litecoin bulls are wanting to drive this price up at the very least to 60 or 70 bucks. So
Amal, I saw your comment earlier today in the Moon Lounge Discord chat. You said the price should be factored in during June or July. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, usually when you see, events coming up on the horizon, the price makes it to its targets well before the event. And by the time, most retailers kind of get that on their radar, the price is already topped off and they're basically buying into what, the smart traders are selling. So the price is already going to be on its way down. I would probably say by July or August, unless we have like a new bull market starting off then, which I don't foresee. Yeah.
Are we happy if we get above 4,400? That's for sure.
I would be really happy. I mean, 4,400 is a huge, resistance.
Yeah, 43 to 44 is a tough one. Once we get above that, I'll be quite happy.
Yeah.
Somebody asked in the chat, Amal, do you think that we will test 3,100 again or lower?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of my big bets for the end of this impulsive wave right here is after the fifth wave, I think there's going to be a pretty, monumental crash in Bitcoin price, something that's going to take almost everyone by surprise. And by the way, these waves don't mean shit. Like just because I drew this, doesn't mean that the price is going to follow this. It could very well sort of, round down and tank, right after we touch 4,400, like James said, because 4,400 is a huge resistance area. That's where we wicked off right here, as you can see. And this is where we got that huge rejection, right? I mean, this was pretty steep right here. Even these rejections right here. Oh, as you can see, when you have 3 touches, like 1, 2, 3, this supply is not as strong as what's up here. This only took one big drop, of sellers to just push this price down from 4,400 to 3,100 and not even, look back, right? So that kind of shows you that way more strength up here in terms of the bears than the strength right here at 4,100. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have. I'll cover more in our advantage member analysis. Again, I post daily Bitcoin analysis updates, video analysis for our community right here, just like that. And then I post updates throughout the day just to keep our community informed. So hey, if you guys want to join, yeah, go to the Cryptosomniac website. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Amal.
So did anyone get into Fetch?
No.
Yeah, we closed Fetch.
What's that?
We closed Fetch at what, 9-10% gain.
Okay, no, I meant the IEO. That was crazy. I saw a video of a syndicate in China, and there was a whole room full of computers, and they're all trying to buy. So you had to put in the amount, then put in the capture, and then buy, and it was over in 10 to 22 seconds apparently. Dang. And then a few hours later, it was trading at 2x on OTC, and then 2.5x, and then it released and it went 5x. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, that is. I mean, anything that is sold through Binance, I feel like is going to do very well. Yeah, would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Plus they've got some pretty sophisticated market making going on, so it's almost set for success. You just got to get in there.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I think it's only Asian projects, right? I mean, I haven't really seen a Western project being launched on Binance.
It's a bit of who you know, and it's a bit of due diligence. So they have to vet the project heavily. Plus, there's got to be some security on the other end, market making, project potential, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What is this project? I'm not familiar with it.
Fetch?
Yeah, Fetch.
But there's a new wave of IEOs coming out, and everyone wants to get into that model. There's a before exchange model and an on exchange model too.
For the uninitiated, what does IEO mean?
Initial exchange offering. So it's like an ICO on exchange. So the problem, what some exchanges like Binance have been worried about is technically, so like say because it was hard to raise funds in 2018, some of these projects only sold like 5% of their total supply. So they control a major amount of their tokens, and someone like Binance has actually publicly said, you know, we're worried about manipulation, so we don't like it when projects control too much. But once they've vetted it and they're happy with it, they do the IEO process, which is basically doing an ICO on the exchange, and you can buy into it. And plus, it's backed by Binance, so you can easily log in, use BNB and buy it, and it's very simple and straightforward. You've already KYC'd with Binance. It's just easy, and it's got the Binance stamp of approval.
Yeah.
A lot of exchanges are doing them and exploring them, but a lot of them are failing because they just don't have the notoriety of Binance.
I mean, honestly, I don't even want to use BNB to buy anything. I'd rather just hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said a long time ago that I thought Binance Coin was just a good cryptocurrency to hold, not for any reason other than the fact that it is somewhat tethered to the high usage rate of Binance, and Binance is a good, reputable, in my opinion, exchange.
Well, if you got into Fetch, you would have made 5 times your BNB. So if you look at it like that, it's different.
Oh, true. Okay. Same thing with Tron, right? I mean, if you got into Tron ICO, I know, Sam, you tried, right?
I did and successfully got in. I did not get in through Binance, though. Binance had it a long time ago, and as you mentioned, and I remember waking up at like 4 in the morning to try to buy that, and it instantly sold out and was not available. But they had a second or a third stage of their ICO. But
I remember you. Same thing with Civic, right?
Civic, I don't think I ever successfully got in. That was a long line, and
but I do remember sending you money and be like, hey, if you wake up early enough, because I definitely wasn't going to wake up early enough.
I remember
4 a.m. for an ICO. Are you kidding me?
They would make me wake up early. Like I got up early just for an ICO. That's how popular. That was the summer of 2017.
Yeah, ICOs were like the first edition iPhones. You know, everyone.
I was waiting in line for it.
Yeah, so a lot of these failed ICOs that have raised only a little bit are looking to do these IEO models. The beauty of it, though, is you're in and out in a week. You get into the sale on the exchange, and then it lists and you sell it, and you're done. A week, and you've done well. That's if you get in. But
So
the finance model is pretty good.
If you guys were running a TGE right now, would you liquidate any capital that comes in immediately, or would you hold on to Bitcoin, Ethereum, things like that?
You've got a right to your investors to liquidate. You know, they've given you a certain amount, and you've structured this for your roadmap, so you should liquidate. That's should be best policy.
Yeah, I completely agree, and you know, it is kind of
2018 should have taught everybody that lesson.
Honestly, it is a little wonky that you know, companies reinvest their funds to build the project. You know, like we're having this huge scandal with Substratum, right?
They're trading.
Basically has no money left, and they don't even have a product out, right? But the founder has a $400,000 new home that he bought with straight cash.
Did any of you guys see the YouTube video of that guy that basically unknowingly kind of admitted to being part of a Ponzi scheme?
Yes, I did see that. Yeah, and
that video is hilarious.
Yeah, you just need more investors on the bottom, and the top would be fine. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's easy to get tricked into pyramid schemes, and especially you know, things like what Richard Hart is doing with his Bitcoin hacks. You know, that's not too bad, right? I mean, it kind of incentivizes people to hold. But still, someone's making a killer profit off of this, you know, and it's definitely not the consumers.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I mean, it's just the landscape of this entire industry is just shifting so fast. Like, it was the Quadringa CEO that died, right?
Yeah, someone asked what I did. So you said he didn't die, James. He ran away from his.
No, I don't know. I didn't say
said that, right?
Yeah. No, I said that.
What would you say, Amal? Okay, what happened to the Quadringa CEO? What's your theory?
No, so Kraken put out the bounty of trying to figure out like, okay, well, what exactly did this person do, or can we find him? And from what I've read, on Reddit or all these people that from the Canadian exchange that have used that, they think that this person just ran away with the money. And there's something about like him pulling out a life insurance policy, right? Like just a couple days before, he took off. It was just a lot of shady shit and a sequence of events that just don't really fit well together,
Wow. Taking a life insurance policy and then you die conveniently.
Yeah, it was sort of really
good timing, huh? Boy, just the
coincidence,
the timing on that. Boy, you just can't be grateful enough for his family, I'm sure.
He did die though, right?
Did he?
I don't know, man. Like, India's a pretty easy country to fake your death certificate in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just so many people. People in India, they don't even have social security numbers. Like half the country doesn't have social security numbers.
That's we're talking about basically crypto implementation and where it's used for. When I was talking to Charles in his video, which I think was something we spent a lot of time on, is just trying to get people onto a network basically that aren't on one.
Like just think about this, okay? I had my own grandmother. She was one of 8. There's not an accurate birthday for her.
That's
there's just a guesstimate. Her birth certificate.
They look at like the rings on her like trunk or something.
Yeah. Her birth certificate. You know how you have to have like your handprint and your footprint. There was no birth certificate for her. There's just she was born. Like we know that much. She was born. She wasn't created. She was definitely born. So there's definitely some shady shit that could happen there.
My grandma doesn't know her birthday.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. Is that dementia or is that because they don't know?
No, nobody knows. They never knew.
Yeah, they didn't care back then, right?
Yeah, they did back then, but it was lost. By the time she was, like, because her mother died and things happened, and then they didn't know when she was born. So
I wonder how accurate scientific testing could be to basically identify one's birthday without knowing. I don't know if that technology exists. Just
carbon dating.
I was going to say,
if that
carbon date you though.
I mean, if that exists, then when moon?
That's the real question. That's the only question.
Yes, when moon? When tidal forces?
So we could get cryogenically frozen and come back and do this traders talk in 100 years.
Seriously, honestly, I wonder how that would look.
Hopefully, we get uploaded.
How that would look? Yeah, I actually was speaking to David Zimbeck of BitBay, the lead developer of BitBay, and he is the founder of the smart contract. He's the first person to create a smart contract on the Bitcoin network, right? Before Ethereum even existed. And he was telling me, there's a lot of fear about quantum computers, but he was telling me that honestly, it's just not feasible right now for quantum computers to actually break SHA-256 or any SHA for that matter. It's just the amount of computing power that you actually need is just so negligible, and I kind of believe that. I mean, do you guys think quantum computing or quantum resistant ledgers are kind of in play right now, or people should be even thinking about that?
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it just yet.
Exactly. I'm not going to worry about it at all. I'm way more worried about Joe Schmo Exchange running off and losing my money and dying.
Yeah.
So,
I'd be interested.
I think there's a lot of like human error that we need to worry about rather than, encryption, strong encryption like SHA-256 being broken. Also, I was reading like a Quora post, and they talked about how moving from SHA-256 to 512 is not that difficult. Like if it just so happens to be that it's broken, I mean, they can move the Bitcoin network towards 512 maybe in like less than a week or something.
Honestly, I mean, I've been a big proponent of getting off of ASIC mining. It's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yes, mine. Go ahead, everybody mine. But and I actually enjoyed the benefits of being into AMD and NVIDIA during 2017 and 2018. So as much as I could boost up those GPUs, the prices of GPUs, and there was a huge shortage. I think there's still a shortage, right?
Yeah.
Of GPUs. Gamers were really angry at cryptocurrency enthusiasts because just to buy any sort of GPU that was high performance, there was a backlog for 4, 5, 6 months of orders. So literally these companies can't keep up. NVIDIA and AMD and Intel, well, not really Intel, but AMD and NVIDIA couldn't keep up with the demand of the cryptocurrency community.
Yeah.
Which is pretty surprising. I mean, we have some pretty intense GPUs and at the Crypto Somniac HQ, but
in the diesel,
we have a 32 core processor, and that set us back a lot of money. It's still like a $5,000 computer, and yet the price still hasn't come down, even for these cheaper GPUs or these first generation high performance GPUs with these 16 core processors, right?
Binance is flying again. I'm so happy with
it
today.
is.
Binance is flying again.
BNB,
Yeah.
Still moving. We're at $12.24.
Yeah. I'd say in this case, like let Binance coin, go up to probably like 13 something, and want it to retest that 11.6, 11.7 area as support. Because I don't know if you guys can pull up, one of you guys can share the screen, but on Trader Talk, I just posted about this, how there's, this horizontal support and resistance level that Binance coin struggles with. And this current price action could very well be a massive wick, that could close down under 11.6, 11.7 by tomorrow. Because this is a new daily candle that just started like 3 hours ago.
No, I completely agree. That's why I was so hesitant. I haven't even sold my Binance coin yet, and I've just been holding on to it. And I've just been listening to the calls in Trader Talk, and I've just been selling incrementally, not all of it.
Yeah.
But that thing is flying, and especially after Neo DevCon and all their Binance rumors, I think Binance coin is so perfectly positioned in this market. I mean, they have a huge amount of users that if they shit out anything, if Binance shits out any product, it's going to be somewhat of a success, right? It's almost like Apple. I mean, I love my AirPods, don't get me wrong, but if they put out a product, people will buy it.
I agree. Yeah.
Because there's a huge amount of users and user base, and especially with Apple, everything's connected.
Somebody's playing devil's advocate. What do you guys think of this? Shalom Dunn says, I think they will get one later, though. For BNB, it is pretty easy because they charge $100K for listings and then use that money to buy their coins and burn them. Last year, BNB was charging up to $500K per listing. What do you guys think about that?
It was way more than $500K for some listings.
It was like 4 or 5 million, right?
Yeah, I've confirmed. One up that way. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we received a quote for in late 2017. It was 5.5 million. So that was a quote we received. Obviously not worth it, especially not worth it. But I think they improved their models, and I just think they have enough volume where they don't need to be trading these sorts of things anymore, or not trading these sorts of things, but charging this much for listing.
Yeah, well, they have some high-level market making, and some of these projects are paying 100, 200 grand a month for market making. Binance have some good stuff. So, and it's expensive to run. It's not as simple as people think it is. So if you just want to get a listing without having any pre-volume prerequisites, no track record, no market making, you're going to pay a big chunk of change to get on Binance. If you have like 100,000 volume daily for an extended period of time, you got good organic traffic, you've got market making in place, Binance will give you a much cheaper listing. That's basically how it is.
I agree. And yeah. Any closing thoughts, guys?
Yeah, the traditional markets have been like this for years. This is different. It's a different animal. There's things that are different, that's for sure, especially these listing prices. But if you don't have a track record, if you come out of the blue and want a listing on the top exchange, you're going to have to pay for it. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree to an extent, right? I mean, there's premiums that you should pay, but things like $5 million for a listing.
Oh yeah, I don't agree they should do that, but that's just the nature of the market.
I think of it like a vending machine. Like, hey, I have 100,000 vending machines, and I want to put your product in these vending machines. I think there should be a premium. This is kind of how the Whole Foods works as well. If you guys ever shop at Whole Foods, there's a whole pitch process, and they either take equity or they take a really fat margin on your product, and then exclusive rights to your product. So, there's a lot of traditional market parallels here, but I think Binance and all the other exchanges during the huge bull run in 2017, I think they were just kind of playing into it because it was fairly easy to raise money. I mean, Filecoin raised 130, right? And yet they still, don't have a product out or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the market performs. And
yeah, it's been a learning curve. I've seen projects make wrong decision after wrong decision, and it's bewildering. But they're learning. Yeah, we learn off other people's mistakes, or you should anyway.
Agreed. And guys, if you do want to talk to us some more, please feel free to join our free Discord server. It's been rotating in the banner on top. It's just cryptosomniac.com/discord1. We have Amal's fantastic new course. That's also in the products page of cryptosomniac.com, or you could use the link above, the straightaway Udemy link above. And of course, we have the Advantage, which is our premium trading group, and we're all pretty active in there. And we've been making some pretty solid calls. What is it? Fetch AI 9%, BNB. I got out at 12% gain. What did you guys get out at?
I didn't enter.
I didn't take the BNB call, but I made the back call, and that one I pulled like 36%.
Wow. Yeah. So we're making a lot of calls. We're active traders. Of course, we're not financial advisors, but, we have been in this space for a while now, and it's a bear market. A lot of YouTubers have quit, but we have not.
And you can get the links to a lot of what you just said, too, in the description of our video. Check that out.
Sorry, the camera cut out on me, but I was going to say also, too, if you're interested in learning to trade, you should check out Amal's new course. There's a link up above there in the top, scrolling through, and it's a pretty solid video.
Yeah. I think we're talking to the ghost of Jason, huh? He really did that.
The ghost of Jason Pat.
Can't see your hair anymore.
It's all right.
Where's that beautiful Marilyn Monroe flip? All right. Well, closing thoughts, guys. What do you guys think about the long-term future for Binance? And should you be heavily invested in these exchange coins like Huobi and Binance, and not like Gemini or anything like that?
Well, they make real money, so it makes sense. Binance are making all the right moves, no matter what people say about them. They are doing a lot of good things, and they're transitioning where there is demand. People say they want a DEX, they give you a DEX. You know, that's the kind of thing they do, and yeah, they keep the market alive. So
yeah,
and generally, exchange coins, you know, they do make real money. These exchanges, some of them, you know, I wouldn't invest in. Some I would, but you know, we're always transitioning.
I think the thing to applaud about Binance is their transparency. I mean, CZ is very proactive, and they make sure, hey, there's a 10-minute outage, you know, and he always says your funds are safe, or you know, what does he say? SAFU, that meme.
Well, what was the one exchange that was having problems or was taking money or something, and he canceled? He blocked all trading from that exchange. Something.
Yeah, Liquid. So when Liquid got hacked, or sorry, it was Cryptopia, the New Zealand exchange. Cryptopia.
And they tried to liquidate to Kraken. I mean, sorry, Binance.
To Binance, yeah, they try to liquidate on Binance, and they stop the funds and they froze it. So actually, the funds are frozen and handed back to Liquid. Cryptopia. I don't know. Is Cryptopia shut down yet?
Well,
I cannot get on their page.
Yeah. Liquid shut down. So I had like 800 Satoshi left in Liquid that is forever lost now. So,
yeah, I don't know if Cryptopia is going to survive this.
Yeah.
Cryptopia intends to relaunch on March 4th, but delays are possible.
Yeah, well.
15 hours.
But is anybody going to trade on it?
Yeah, well, it was a pump and dump exchange basically. Anyway, it's all dead coins, and a lot of the pump and dump syndicates would use it. So I guess there's a use case there, but not a good one. We're probably better off without it. But you know, who am I to say?
All those Bitcoin bravado guys on Twitter, you know, the Bitcoin magazine. One of the Bitcoin magazine guys. All the guys that did, what is that, Bitcoin and Whiskey Wednesdays. You know, big Twitter people, if you guys are on crypto Twitter, they are big proponents of, you know, those smaller, like Liquid and Cryptopia exchanges. So if you were to advise people what exchanges, you know, we're US-based, but or you're Australian-based, but what exchanges should new users be using other than the standard Coinbase and Gemini, which barely has any assets on it right now. But you know, obviously we talked about Binance and their transparency. So obviously Binance comes to that category. Kraken comes into that category. But what other exchanges would you recommend? Bittrex, Poloniex?
Well, for Americans, depends if you're allowed to exchange on there. If there's any regulatory issues, it's always nice to have a fiat gateway wherever you may be in the world. You know, for Australia, in fact, we have exchanges that are regulated by the government. They've got fiat onboarding. They're secure because they have to follow all the strict regulations. So we can confidently get money in and money out to our bank account. So it makes sense. Other than that, you know, Australians have a lot more freedom because we can trade on any exchange. So, you know, I like BitMEX because of the leverage, and Binance just because of the innovation, and that's where a lot of the action is. And I feel secure there for a centralized exchange. For anyone else, you just have to look at the regulatory environment and what you're allowed to trade on before you make a move.
I'd agree with you there. The only one I would add to that, I don't know if I heard it or not, but I've used Kraken before in the past. I can tell you, I hate their website and it's extremely slow, but I haven't ever had any issues using it in the US.
Yeah. I'm actually thankful for Kraken because they support every Bitcoin fork. Not all of them, not all the crappy ones. I mean, they're all crappy.
Big ones.
All the Bitcoin forks are crappy, but in my opinion, right? But you know, they do support the big ones. You know, I think they supported Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, and they supported Bitcoin Cash. and this is well before Gemini. I don't think Gemini still supports. Does Gemini support Bitcoin Cash?
No.
No. So, and
I think
neither did
Bittrex
Coinbase
was one of
until
the
they
only-
were.
Bittrex, I think, supported the Bitcoin Cash. Didn't you receive it like a long time after it happened?
Kraken, I received it immediately, right? And that's where a lot of people were getting their funds onto is, Kraken is always one of the leaders of supporting these forks or any sort of new BIPs or anything like that. So it's always interesting to see these exchanges and their politics. But Kraken has also been vocal as of late, same as Binance and Coinbase. So I'm happy that there's more and more transparency into the space. But yeah, just make sure you guys stick to reputable exchanges and keep your money on a ledger or a wallet.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
We have a big conference coming up in Adelaide, South Australia on the 18th to 20th of March. We got the CEO of T0 coming, Patrick Byron, and got some other big names that are yet to be announced. So that's going to be great.
So what do you think about that? Do you think STO exchanges are ever going to take place, or is it just a pipe dream?
No, it has to. Well, you look at traditional markets. Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, Open Exchange. I mean, Open Finance. I mean, they're already live, but still, it's not very usable. It still feels like an OTC trade. I mean, it's just a long form exchange.
Yeah, we're not there yet because of regulatory issues. If your American government want to hand down some regulations and help us out, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So you do a Reg D on the STO, and then you can't transfer it for 12 months. And then if you do, there's just so many issues. So I know people are doing smart contracts. So you have an STO exchange, and the contract will know that that owner is allowed to trade it, and then the receiver is able to receive it, and then they transfer the STO and any dividends or other things that they're entitled to. And yeah, it's coming. It's messy as it is now, but it's all being dialed in, and it's because of regulatory issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got some good speakers coming. Got a 3-day conference here where we've started a non-for-profit blockchain association here in Adelaide, and we're going to be launching that at the conference and having an after party for 100 people. So anyone that wants to come, just send me a message and I'll get them a ticket.
Awesome. And this is in Adelaide? Everything's happening in Adelaide?
Yeah. We've got a really blockchain-friendly government. We actually got our premier, the head honcho in South Australia. He'll be talking, Stephen Marshall. So we're kitting out a place here for tech and blockchain companies as well, sponsored by the government. We've got this conference and innovation challenge happening at the conference. So, yeah, some really good things, really blockchain-friendly government here.
Very cool. And I guess my final statement will be here until we log off is you guys want to talk about the email newsletter, Sam Amal?
Love it. Yeah. Sam, can we pull that up, or is that still?
Yeah, I'll show you guys a snippet of what it looks like in my inbox. Give me 1 second. Why don't you mention what it is first, and I'll pull it up.
So we have our newsletter, which is like a 2 to 3 minute read and a recap of some of the more important things that are happening in the crypto space. You know, it's really a phenomenal read because it gives you an idea of not just like the shilly stuff about what's happening in price, but more so the fundamentals of what exactly is going on behind the scenes. Because as I always say, like fundamentals are always being built, you know, behind the scenes, and price either overextends it to the upside or, you know, undershoots it to the downside. And this gives you a good idea of here are the things that are, you know, being built behind the curtain.
So I don't know if you can. Are you sharing my screen by any chance?
Yeah,
Yes,
We're showing it. So this is a picture of it. But yeah, like Amal said, 2 2 to 3, maybe 4-minute read, depending on the day. And it's pretty good. And you can go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter to get this each morning. Right now, I know we mentioned a bunch of times our website. Our website has currently needs a renewal on its SSL certificate, so it might look a little odd, but rest assured, everything's working fine, and I'll pull it up for you guys. You can sign up for the newsletter right here on the far right.
Yeah, and this is completely free right now, right?
Yep.
So they're completely free. So join our newsletter for a good time, I guess.
Hey, keep you informed. I think coupled with the technicals, we always strive to tell you guys that, you know, you can couple news with TA, with basic fundamental understanding of cryptocurrency all together. You know, you don't want to rely. It's better to have as many resources and tools as you can. So hopefully this news here is just another tool that you can use to stay informed on the markets. So
agreed.
Cool. Sounds good.
Sure, for sure. So sign up for the free newsletter and join our free Discord lounge. We'll be in there right now. So I guess that's it for us here. You know, Amal, James, Sam, thank you so much for joining us, and the ghost of Jason, thank you.
Back from the dead.
Yeah.
He's here from the other side to tell you that it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
Do you use Bitcoin over there?
Yeah, Bitcoin is not here, you know, in the afterlife. So Bitcoin is not dead.
What?
So I see a bunch of shit coins, but
so Tron's the main currency there, then I assume.
yeah, Doge. It's Doge.
Yeah. All right. Well, peace out, y'all.
Like the video, hit that thumbs up, and we'll see you guys later.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Jason, you know how to end it?
Yeah, hold up. Doing so. And